now. This is about beyond impressions, measuring engagement and ROI in CTV advertising. I'll repeat the topic for you all once again for the panel discussion. This is about beyond impressions, measuring engagement and ROI in CTV advertising. I'm going to be introducing our honorable moderator on stage, and then I'll be introducing our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, this session is going to be moderated by Naresh Gupta, Managing Partner, Bang in the Middle. And he's going to be joined on stage by Abhishek Ranjan, Digital Head, DS Spiceco DS Group, Akhil Nair, Founder and CEO, Big Trunk Communications, Arun Kumar Raghav, Founder and CEO, B Global, K. Ganapati Subramaniam, Chief Marketing Officer, LT Foods, Neha Rao, Marketing Vice President, Bikaji Foods International, and Ashish Tiwari, Chief Marketing Officer, Home Credit. Ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic and stupendous panel of 7 people all set to begin right now. The first one post the tea break. A huge round of applause. It's a full house. I love a full house. A full round of appreciation for all of them. Please. Need to sit as per the photo frames. Are you all seated as per the framing? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Give it up once again loudly for all of them, please. Thank you. That's the energy and the vibe that we need in the room. Few more panel discussions to go, and then we have the awards in the evening. So over to you, sir. Thank you. And can we have the timer in place so that our moderator can keep a check on the timer so that we are running as per time?
I hope you're back from your tea, rejuvenated to get into a topic which is quite interesting. And something that you all know very well, because CTV is something that is pretty well known. We all consume television quite a lot. And traditionally, television has been a lot about, and if you're doing a television planning, it's a lot about reach, OTS, and how much would you be able to measure that. All research on that will be about awareness and how awareness is driven and stuff like that. So what has happened today? Why are we discussing this? Is there a new wave that has started to happen? Is there a new reality on CTV world that has happened? So there is connected TV that has come in. So what is connected TV? How does it work? What are numbers? And how do brand marketers look at it? We can start with you. How do you see connected TV? Where does it start to work? Where does it start to have an impact?
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Before we start. Yeah, you are right. CTV is absolutely growing. And if I can give you a kind of perspective from our side, for example, catch masales, right? What is happening from past 2 years, or you can say 1.5 years, campaign to campaign, we are upscaling CTV. Why? Because what is happening, it is acting as an alternative to TV. Why? Because we are getting a kind of bigger real estate. That is number one. Second, the kind of overall impact from a overall metrics per se, that is very different. Like, unlike reach, impressions, we are going to get much more here. For example, we are going to get, let's say, on a typical TV, let's say you have a creative running. On that creative, you can't say that at what percentile or at what quadrant, how many people saw that particular creative. To that level, we can go on a CTV, right? For example, on CTV, we can say that X% of audience watched 60 or 75% of your creative, right? Similarly, 100% of your creative being viewed by this many people, correct? That is a first level of detailing that is coming here. Now, the beauty is, of course, on TV, you can't click or you can't do a lot much, right? But from an engagement per se on CTV, a lot can be done. For example, placing a QR code that can redirect to any of your actions, maybe install or maybe buying or maybe any lead form. So those kind of things we are doing, and this is how it is contributing. From an overall campaign to campaign, I can say that out of 100% now we are at least 30% of my overall budget is going on CTV, and we are trying to make it at least to 40-45% in coming months. So this is what we are thinking right now from a CTV per se.
So I'm just assuming when you say CTV, you mean connected TV.
Absolutely, connected TV. That's right. Yeah.
So just to clarify for all of us that that's what you mean. Akhil, if I can bring you in, while there is a conversation about connected TV and how brands are looking at it and what they're pushing, what are the numbers like? So from an ecosystem perspective, how big? Because India traditionally has been a color television market where it's this medium that gives you almost 100% reach. So where is connected TV coming in? How is it making a difference?
So broadly, the connected TV ecosystem is at about 48, 50 million as of early 2025 numbers. The universe of television households is at about 230 million. So, so it's about roughly 1/4 of the kind of universe of television numbers. We also have to realize that in some time, possibly over the next 5 years, you will not have a non-smart TV in existence, right? Most of the ones which were non-smart were either very old, they've become outdated in their existence, shape, size, performance. So I possibly am looking at CTV replacing all forms of TV in times to come. Now, there was a very interesting point on how it's replaced traditional or how it is slowly catching up with traditional in that sense. For TV marketeers, I think it may not be the most ideal thing to say, but I think CTV brings about certain natural advantages in being able to contextualize advertising to users. It's very personalized. I very specifically can show you a travel ad, him, possibly a food ad, somebody else who's a fitness enthusiast, a fitness ad, because it is a connected ecosystem. Okay? We have to understand in this space that we call connected TV, how is the ecosystem outlined? Who are the big players in the connected TV space? One is the OEMs who today manufacture, sell TVs, say Samsung, if you all know, have set up a massive advertising backend to enable CTV. So Samsung a reference here. Then there are OTTs. All of them have their own advertising setup. Then you've got the ad tech players, the example of that being, say, a DV. So imagine in the DV ecosystem, if you were to be served a CTV impression, I can track you to the last mile to understand, basis, say, a premium economy ad of an airline, did you finally end up buying possibly a month later, correct? So it's integrated. Then there are telecom players like Jio in its avatar or maybe Airtel broadband in its avatar, correct? So this is the universe and all of them are sitting on tons of data, first party acquired data to be able to contextualize ads. So the entire connected TV universe, if I have to say, is way more personalized than the traditional avatar of TV.
So what you're saying is also a little scary from one perspective because unlike earlier times when you advertised and that was the end of it, whatever I did, whatever I didn't do was up to me. But now you as not you, we all as marketers suddenly have the control on us saying, dude, I've shown you this ad, now better do something. And that's where it's a bit of a scary thing that can start to happen. But there are some food marketers here, Ashish, if I can ask you, because you run a finance brand, how does that start to impact the way you look at the audience and you look at the category? Because yours is far more response-driven because the response there is far more considered, the buying cycle is longer, say unlike buying a rice which can become a habit. In your case, how does it start to work? What difference does it make?
Interesting question. I think marketer's life keeps revolving around the same thing. I started my career with the CRTV and now I think we have come to CTV. CRTV is nothing but a cathode ray TV. Yeah. So when we started, it was about what is the CRTV and stuff like. Sorry? The Sony Trinitron. Oh yes, the Jolly. Yeah. How can we forget the Jolly? Yeah. Some of the Gen Zs must be thinking, oh shit, yeah. I ended up giving out my age. Not that it gets hidden from anywhere, but yeah. Okay. So think about it. As marketers, one thing we need to realize whichever ecosystem we are talking about, that as marketers, in an economy, in a market which is driven by all the earning calls, the more you can put the ROI or the business case as we talk, the more are the chances for you being classified as the driver than the support system. And every marketer wants to be in a driver's seat than just being called that, okay, this is left, kind of go and spend it. And I think that's where CTV ecosystem fits in beautifully, like you said. Everything is trackable, and so is in finance as a category. Finance as a category, it becomes all the more interesting. Some of the use cases, for example, I am into a lending business. Am I right? Wrong. I am actually into a business of collections. I give out money so that I can collect. If I could collect without giving out money, that'll be really good. But then I realize that I need to change the name of the organization from Home Credit to, say, a D company or something like that. And that wasn't really legally possible, so I had to settle down by giving out money. Things like, think about it, what drives collections? I can come and talk to you, say, you owe me money, give me money. And you will say, no, honey, I'm not going to give you money. I don't have money, stop picking up my phone. But then I can do something very interesting. At 9 p.m. when you are watching news, I can run the cohort and put an ad out there, say, hey, this TV might not work if you don't pay me money. Now suddenly, you don't have honey, you have honeybees in your house stinging around saying, saas bhi kabhi bahut hi nahi chalega, because of you are not paying EMI. Some of the use cases I am just telling you, okay? Things like when you want to drive a demand, one is saying that, oh, I have only this much money, and CTV allows you to be able to cut the audience. And again, it's a data play at the end of the day, and the moment you have a data at your hand, give data to marketer, and if he is able to call out information, he or she, gender agnostic, please don't beat me down. Yeah, sorry. So, if you are able to call out that data and put some information out, now you know that somebody is continuously watching some kind of a content, what they must be interested into. And basis multiple other ecosystem data players, you can figure out that, oh, this guy has possibly the buying capacity of, say, appliance of 30,000. But people in the neighborhood have a double door fridge and he or she is only thinking about single door. Now you can put an ad out there, beautifully targeted to somebody else in the home, who are the home ministers of that house, and say that with the support you can do that. And again, the overall ecosystem, like I said, you can stitch it around and go to your boss and look a little more smarter than you are with putting in some more, sprinkle some more jargons out there, as all MBAs and marketers do. And here is a use case. So I think in that ecosystem, CTV works. Having said that, one word of caution. I think while we may all, just because of you can measure it, should you be measuring everything? And should you only be going around what can be measured? And that's where a good marketer need to work around. Remember, if you don't keep seeding in, you will have nothing else to harvest beyond a point. And I think that's the reason why we may, all of us might want to look at consumer like a funnel. What I would like to look at it is, are you able to use all your touch points with the consumers to create right conversations? Irrespective of which, whether you are having a CTV, DTV, ETV, BTV, whatever, are you able to have those conversations? And if it was all around Excel sheets driving the productivity, then I think Grok can do a better job than any one of us.
Grok is currently killing a lot of people. I don't know if people want to touch Grok at this point of time.
Okay, just think I never said that. By the way, D company can work on a zero budget model.
So Grok and D company, I don't want to go there. That I think will shut the business down here for.
I'm not of my employer.
But if I can come. No, so if I can, and if I can come to you, Neha, with the emergence of connected TV, how does the business planning start to change for you? Because you work in a very, very different category. This is a category which traditionally has not touched television in a very big way, wasn't a big television advertiser to start with, but suddenly it opens up the category for you, it opens up access to markets and consumers for you. How does that start to impact the way you look at your business?
So yeah, for us, as we were talking earlier, right, we're one of the few within our category who've actually been advertising in any case. So we've been fairly TV first, and I'm only talking about BKG, not the category per se. What's happened, I think, with a lot of other brands, they've actually gotten into communication with the consumer through CTV. While if I were to tell you, I think for us it's been that probably the last year when we've started warming up to that, because we're a promoter-driven organization, but also thankfully listed. So a lot of new things, come in with that, a lot of vigor. Secondly, I think our category was not considered to be younger or cool earlier. Now what's happened is with CTV, we can actually manage to get there. And if I were to tell you, for us, it's not about the impressions or how many people you've managed to reach in that sense, but really to be able to go to the newer customer with the newer things that we do. Today, if somebody talks about BKG, you'll probably first think of Bhujia, but I have over 300 products and over 750 SKUs. So what makes it easier for us is to be able to then do better, because I know that there are certain products for which my audience is not in general trade at all. So how to go after that audience has actually been a lot more helpful for brands like ours. And like I said, a lot of my competing brands have actually used this to enter the world of advertising in a bigger way. And of course are doing other things also. And I think for people like, because we have so many categories, and because we need so many more assets to be able to reach my consumers, it makes it a lot easier for me to be on platforms like multiple platforms and multiple ways to get to the audience. So I get to choose where I invest to grow, and I get to choose where I invest for recall. So in that ecosystem for us, in the overall marketing budgets and the kind of cuts I have there, it's helpful for sure. But for now, very nascent stage for us in general.
And the same thing to you, Ganpati. Is the lack of measurement or too much of measurement, either of that impacting the way you look at business and the way you look at the strategies to reach out to the final consumer?
I think, there was an era where all marketers desired some sort of number to prove their point, and we didn't want to be labeled as the artist or con artist, as a matter of fact. So we wanted safety in numbers. Now we have too many numbers, and there is little safety in any of them. So that's the fundamental problem. If you go in search for numbers without knowing which numbers you want to pick, you have a challenge. Decide the numbers you want to pick, basis the objective you set out for. I sell rice, okay? The fundamental problem is, till there is human beings and then there is, like it's been for generations, people eating rice, I don't have a problem on business. My problem is, how do I sell a branded piece of rice? And I guess there's someone calling me also. No, that's the power of it. But nevertheless, coming back, rice, you could always sell because there are people there. The fact is, how do you sell branded rice? For that, what sort of measure do you need? How many folks would very keenly kind of move from an area which is non-branded? How many people would pick on a particular type of product? What will induce them to do a brand switch? Now, those are big questions for me. Now, which mediums, and CTV in particular, since we are talking that, is a very interesting medium because it today very seamlessly transforms from an ecosystem which you are comfortable, both from the slightly more traditionalist audience to the more younger audience. Both of them are comfortable watching, gives you a big screen experience most of the times, and also facilitates, as you move on, to some level of actionability or action-taking possibility. And that is what you want. And if you've got your measures right, I'm sure, and you know what to measure, it's a fantastic time to be. Only thing is, you've got to make it more robust as you move along.
So it's interesting because then, from what I'm hearing, it looks like there is a lot of slicing that you can do. There is a lot of data points that are available, so you can figure out what needs to be done, what doesn't need to be done. That leads to another interesting question. Should marketers look at different stimulus that goes out on connected TV and different stimulus that goes out on other mediums, because today the way marketing is happening, the stimulus is tailored to the platform that you are on. I don't put what I want to use on Instagram on, say, LinkedIn, and similar kind of thing. So if I can come to you, Arun, is there something that exists there where brands are trying to do stuff which is platform driven? Because currently the advertising world that exists, it's one film that's shot in 16:9, 4K resolution, and that runs everywhere. Is there a time to look at connected TV creatives differently?
Yeah, of course. So, I would like to. So, yeah, on a lighter note. Yeah, finance is backbone of every company. So, it's really good. So, just coming back to the topic, so rich media innovation is really helping in CTV ecosystem. And I would like to share one case study which we have done in Indonesia market. So we have done a case study for auto brand where we came up with QR code along with the video creative communication, and that QR code was landing to that test drive. So so here what we got so far that that QR code scan percentile was close to 1.5%, and there was a 95% video viewability happened to our creative. And apart from that, it's like a mix of creative and audience targeting, I would say, in my perspective. So let's say when it comes to that programmatic ecosystem. So let's say if you are creating two campaigns, one campaign you can create for just to have a just to create a more base, and in the programmatic you can do like 30 days. You can enhance your user base with just to remarket or retarget your ads, and that's how you can enhance your user base along with your rich media things. So yeah, I think anything is specific, I would happy to answer. Yeah.
So there is clearly a case where brands can look at creatives tailored to the platform they are going in. And with the way connected TV is now going, you get different inventory on mobile, different inventory on tablets, different inventory on the big screen. So you can try and do that whole bit of creative jugglery in terms of saying, okay, this is what I need to put out here, this is what I can put out there.
Yeah, for us, omni-channel marketing strategy works really well. So let's say the same kind of QR code. I'm giving again and again the same example because omni-channel marketing, that strategy works really well. So what you can do that, let's say you can put the same QR code for your, print and as well as in your, websites and CTV for that matter, and that's how you can tap the audience. And apart from that, what CTV brings is that gives you that richer and wider experience on the screen. And as a audience and as a viewer, we always have tend to view content on the larger screen. So let's say if we are seeing the data, a lot of time we would like to visualize the data on the larger screen. So that impact actually you get on the CTV in terms of that visualization, and definitely when it comes to that the right audience targeting, so it's like a mix of both.
So it says time's up. I think we could have gone on discussing quite a lot more from where we are at this point of time. But what I'm hearing is that 1/4 of television audience today is on connected TV. There is a lot more measurement that is happening and can happen. The way the world is moving, I think we'll move on to a lot more of connected TV homes and connected TV viewers. That will happen. And I think marketers will start to look at creatives that go by the platform and won't be platform agnostic. Thank you very much.